The mesmerizing beauty of the planet Earth is beyond poetic versification. The constituents of this hypnotic beauty of Earth are air, water, soil, energy, and biodiversity. The country's populace of over 1 billion people needs energy and power to accentuate its rate of growth, thus requiring a perennial source of energy. NTPC is India's largest and the most paramount power generating organization, operating scores of power plants on world's standard quality level. With such magnanimous capacity utilization through use of latest technologies and best operational practices, NTPC is aiming to become a 128 gigawatt company by the year 2032. In pursuit to accomplish such ambitious target, NTPC plans to develop its own coal mines for an assured supply of coal for its power projects. In this development process, the impact on nature and biodiversity is inevitable. However, NTPC had visualized such challenges and made sure that impacts destroying the biodiversity are minimized. NTPC has broken the myth that development and conservation cannot coexist. Through a sustainable development policy, the conservation practices of protecting, rehabilitating and restoring the ecosystem, the aim and objectives of the policy are well followed. To many people, biodiversity is almost the synonym with the word nature, and nature brings to mind the lush green virgin forests and the big creatures that dwell there. But biodiversity is much more than that. It encompasses not only the diversity of species, but also the diversity of species within a community and diversity within species. Biological diversity deals with degree of nature's variety in biosphere. NTPC's attempt to conserve biodiversity is a success story par excellence. Development of Greenbelt, Ecological Park has been on priority list of the corporation. Covering of vast tracts of land in and around the power projects have built effective carbon and pollution sinks. NTPC's commitment towards eco-restoration enticed grand revival of species, bringing back the birds and animals into the region. Planting of more than 22 million trees speaks volumes of NTPC's continued commitment to green endeavors. The magnanimity of widespread restored locations remains a testimony of the managing ecological brilliance of the corporation, besides energy augmentation. Eco-restoration of ash mounds through greenery. Ecological restoration of lands filled with fly ash and process of eco-rehabilitation proved effective and has brought back flora and fauna with wildlife to its full vibrance. To educate the nature lovers and students about the physiology of plants, several varieties of medicinal and fruit trees have been planted. Medicinal plant gardens have been developed at Uchahar. Similarly, a unique medicinal plant garden has been developed at NTPC Simhadri. Known as Sanjeevani Ayurvedic Medicinal Garden and Nursery, the garden has been set up in large area. Nearly 77 different species of medicinal plants are found here. These medicinal plants have different curable properties, which gives health benefits. Keepers of traditional knowledge solemnize the marriage of neem and peepal tree. Through this tradition, they believe that it will bring prosperity in the area. Avla Udyan in Rihand reminds us of our Ayurvedic traditional knowledge, offering obeisance to millions of people for their spiritual attribution. Trees like peepal, bargad, amla, ashok, bel, gular and many others have been planted. A Navagraha Vatika has been established in Unchahar, which also personifies its connect with the 9 celestial bodies that influence our planet Earth. Green Vishakha is another fine example of NTPC's efforts towards eco-restoration. This project, formulated with Visakhapatnam Urban Development Authority, large barren tracts of land nearby Visakhapatnam have been planted with different variety of trees. Gulala Konda, Bhavi Konda and Totalakonda mountains are covered. The greenery around these areas have changed the whole ecosystem. To improve the water table, moisture conservation and biodiversity conservation, including aquatic fauna, many new water bodies have been created at several power projects so as to attract animals and migratory birds. Conservation and protection of elephants is also undertaken in Dhenakanal district of Odisha. Similarly, NTPC is doing tremendous work towards habitat development of olive ridley turtle. As we know, Gahir Matha beach in Odisha is the most important nesting beach for olive ridley turtles, where they come in large numbers to lay their eggs. The management of natural water body at Dadri is an illustrative example of this venture. NTPC is equally concerned for habitat improvement for species. Along with the specific wildlife conservation and monitoring plan, the corporation is actively providing protection, avoiding habitat fragmentation, so as to save the species from being endangered or extinct. For example, the Great Indian Bustard, which is considered as a critically endangered variety species by the IUCN Red Data list, is being protected.
The most important effort or most step is to protect the grasslands, restore the grasslands in which the Great Indian Bustard lives. NTPC's role is to particularly in and around their plant, they are helping us, and they should do particularly taking the help of the local communities. Sometimes there are apprehensions against the bustard conservation.
Being an environmentally conscious corporate, NTPC proposes a conservation plan for Samaspur Bird Sanctuary, 8 kilometers from Firoz Gandhi Unchahar Thermal Power Project. The unflinching faith in conserving biodiversity by NTPC is their sacred contribution towards enhancing and preserving the treasure of biological diversity of our land.
We are celebrating the United Nations Decade of Biodiversity Conservation. In pursuance, we have also affirmed our commitment to biodiversity conservation through our INDCs, which have recently been announced by Government of India. The biodiversity has become important because of the fact that it serves millions of people in earning their livelihoods, besides maintaining the food chain.
2 to 3 degree ambient temperature in and around NTPC Ramagundam project has gone down after NTPC's massive afforestation efforts as stated by the Meteorological Department.